All right, let's talk about interviews. Today, we're going to crack the code on two of the absolute toughest questions you're likely to face. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll have a solid strategy to answer them with a whole lot more confidence.
You know that feeling, right? The interview's going great, you're building a good rapport, and then, bam, they hit you with one of those questions. The ones that can totally throw you off your game. We've all been there. And today, we're going to demystify them for good. Okay, so first up on the chopping block, that classic question about the future. The whole 5-year plan thing. So let's dive right in. Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? Why on earth do interviewers ask this? It can feel like a trick question, but it's really not. They're just trying to figure out a few things. Do you have ambition? Do your goals kind of line up with where this company is headed? And, have you actually thought about your career beyond just this one job? The real trick here is all about balance. It's like a tightrope walk. You need to show them you've got big goals, but you also need to prove you're grounded in reality and that you see this job as a crucial step in your journey, not just some random bus stop. Let's break down this first answer because the structure is really smart. It starts by admitting that, hey, the future's hard to predict, which is totally realistic. Then it lays out a super clear and logical career path, right? From financial consultant up to portfolio manager. That tells the interviewer, I get it. I understand how a career in this field actually works. Now, this second example, this one is fantastic because it puts contribution and skill first. You're not just saying, I want a promotion. No, you're saying, I want to be a valued employee, an expert in my role. Then you mention leadership. See that? It shows you're committed to mastering the actual job you're interviewing for. And this third one, wow, it just perfectly blends high ambition with a little bit of humility. You state a big, clear goal, become a lead, but you immediately show you get that it's a tough, competitive path. Tying it all back to hard work, that's just the cherry on top. It shows you're not just a dreamer, you're a doer. All right, so you've just nailed the ambition question. You're feeling good. But now, it's time for the part that makes pretty much everyone a little nervous, talking about money. The dreaded, so what are your salary requirements? This question can feel like a total minefield. One wrong step, and boom. But don't worry, we've got a map. And the single most important thing to remember is that your strategy totally depends on your experience level. Think of this as a fork in the road. If you're a fresher or new to this field, the golden rule is never, ever be the first person to say a number. For an experienced candidate, though, you have a lot more standing to be direct about what you expect. Getting this difference right is absolutely key. And just so we're all on the same page, when we say fresher, we're basically talking about a recent graduate or someone with very little or even no experience in that specific industry. If that sounds like you, then you're really going to want to pay attention to this next part. Okay, let's break down this example for a fresher. It is just brilliant. First, it totally deflects the question by saying salary isn't the number one priority. Smart. It pivots to what is important, the platform, the learning, the experience. Then, and this is the genius part, it gently hands the question right back, tying expectations to your company's norms. You're basically saying, I'm excited to be here and I trust you'll be fair. So, to sum it up for anyone just starting out, your strategy is to talk up your eagerness to learn and contribute value, and then politely and strategically defer to the company's established pay scale for the role. Okay, we've covered future ambitions, we've navigated salary negotiations. Now, let's pull it all together into one simple winning strategy you can actually take with you. Here it is, your 3-step game plan. First, frame your future. Have a clear story about where you're headed and why this job is a key part of that story. Second, know your level. Your entire approach to the salary question hinges on whether you're a fresher or an experienced pro. And third, focus on value and norms. Everything you say, from your 5-year plan to your pay, should always connect back to the value you're gonna bring and the company's own standards. So there you have it, a clear path through two of the biggest hurdles in any job interview. You've got the strategy. The only question left is, how are you gonna answer them next time?